What's next with gold and silver? That's what I'm going to dive into right now because I want to give us a heads up on what I see coming. So we've been between two eclipses right now, and sometimes eclipses have had massive impacts on the financial system, but not all eclipses are financial, and these ones aren't particularly financial, but we do have another one coming in just in a week or so. Is a total solar eclipse at 12 degrees Virgo. So it's going to impact day-to-day routines, your habits, your relationship with your neighbors, things that are, especially with the Mercury retrograde, this is absolutely going to have, it could have an impact on siblings. It could be people locally in your job, things like that, water cooler chat, that sort of thing. So this is a total solar eclipse, which tends to remove something. So it takes things away totally, completely, 100% for good. And this can have an impact in your own chart, depending on where you have Virgo, right? Wherever you have 12 degrees Virgo, that's going to change things in a big way. So just look in your chart. If you can go to astro.com and look it up, you can see what house, and that house will be the area that describes where that's going to happen. For example, if it was in your first house, it would remove something in your maybe personal care habits. It could change the way you present yourself completely. It could make a very big impact on that. And of course, any area of your life, that would be the impact. So what does this mean for gold and silver, right? Is it going to have an impact on gold and silver? Well, yes, kind of. So there's a lot of, I talked about the last eclipse being a date with destiny, that they were very fated events, the finger of fate pointing at all these things that were being revealed. And I said more would be revealed as we headed into that eclipse, which we've seen a lot more stuff in the Epstein files. That was what I was expecting. And it got really dark real fast as we headed to that eclipse, which was on the 17th. Of course, we're still dealing with the aftermath of all the documents, right? And we're not done, by the way. We're not finished. But this is essentially about change of our routines, a change of our habits in some profound way. So the silver situation is one where technically, on the logical level, we know that silver is running out. Okay, they're going to run out of it basically, this month, right? And of course, deliveries in March being the largest delivery month for the COMEX, they're not going to be able to deliver, right? They're not going to have enough silver. They're going to be out of silver. However, the games that the system is capable of playing can drag this past the point of expectation. So what do I see happening, right? What's going to happen? I see there's going to be some kind of a ricochet, like a bounce up and down kind of movement, okay? We could get a fast drop and then jump. We could get a fast rise and then drop. There's something going on with the JP Morgans of the world, right? The people who kind of control these markets, where they have another trump card up their sleeve, and it's not the president, okay? It's actually counter to what the president and the government is trying to do. So there's a real battle happening over the silver markets, and this is all destined. It's all about destiny. Mercury entered the shadow. I talked about it a few weeks ago. It entered the shadow on the North Node. All these planets are moving forward. They've crossed the North Node. This eclipse triggers both nodes, the North and the South Node. So this is all about moving forward spiritually or moving down, moving behind, being left behind. So this is a spiritual test, actually. And the energetic frequency here is a big one. It's a big burst of energy. And there's going to be it's going to look like a heart attack chart, right? On a EKG or something, right? It's just going there's going to be something chaotic, something crazy that's going to unfold soon in the next few months. So I'm going into more detail on my members call, which is today. Of course, if you join, you can always look at all the past calls, right? And you get the timing report for February, where I talk about what I expect is going to happen here in crypto for this last week, which it looks like that's what's going to happen. So, the eclipses are very, they create so much unpredictability. And these particular ones have been affecting a lot more of our the news and the information, our philosophies, our belief systems, and our habits and our routines. So they can have financial impact, but it's more secondary, right? It's more like a knock-on effect as opposed to the main dish, right? So we're going to get through this eclipse season, and then things are going to get pretty wild over the coming months as we head into summer. But the eclipse we're going to see potentially lots of people leaving their positions, lots of people losing their jobs, or at least massive changes coming from AI, right? And opportunities if you know how to use them. So AI now can absolutely change your routines if you learn how to use it, right? So this is definitely like a warning signal to like use it or lose it or protect yourself from it or figure out how to quarantine what you're going to use. I mean, just basically strategize around your approach to AI and the digital infrastructure, because you're going to have to make choices about that. So I would suggest that you make those choices now. And, I actually just bought some flip phones, old school 2G flip phones, because there's not a lot that that any intelligence can do to those phones. And so, it's an insurance policy. Anyway, those are my thoughts. So, let me know what you think. What do you think could happen that would disrupt our routines completely and totally? What do you think that could be? Could be a lot of things, but it's definitely tied in with AI. So if you want to join, of course, auraright.media, and there's a free crypto survival kit that you get when you subscribe to the blog. You don't have to pay for anything for that. That's free. It just comes in an email series, but you also get the trading course for free when you do become a member. So all that's there. You can find out about that when you go to the site, and I will talk to you later. Bye.